Have you ever thought about how the same thing can become the biggest curse in one place and the greatest support for life somewhere else? Take Australia, for example. Around 22 to 23 million people live there, yet the rabbit population is many times larger than the human population. So large that the government has officially declared rabbits a destructive species. Crops are destroyed, land is damaged, and the entire ecosystem has been thrown off balance. Australia has tried every possible method to control them, but even today, rabbits remain a serious problem there. Now look at the other side of the picture. China imported millions of rabbits, not for shows, not for food, but for an experiment that, at the time, sounded almost insane. Kibbuchi Desert was once considered one of the most dangerous deserts in China. Every year it kept spreading, slowly swallowing fertile land around it. Areas that were once green and alive were turning into nothing but sand. China tried to stop it. Trees were planted, sand control projects were launched, research stations were set up. But this force of nature refused to slow down. And then, a local businessman entered the story. Wang Wenbiao. Wang didn't have a textbook solution. His thinking didn't come from theories, but from observation, patience, and experience. He began laying dry shrubs across the desert in fixed patterns, and between them, he planted willow trees. Willow trees are not ordinary trees. Their roots can grow extremely deep, searching for hidden water far beneath the ground. Their wood is highly valuable for the paper and furniture industries. But there was one major problem: the Kibbuchi Desert's strong, harsh winds. That's why the shrubs were used, to reduce the direct impact of the wind and help the soil retain moisture. At first, people laughed. Who tries to grow a forest in a desert? This idea will never work. Wang didn't argue. He knew time would speak for him. For a few years, everything went well. Then a new challenge appeared. To grow properly, willow trees need regular trimming. If the soft new branches are cut at the right time, the main trunk grows thicker and stronger. But in a desert, this work was extremely difficult and very expensive. And this is where the story takes its most interesting turn. Wang had a simple thought. What if this job was done by rabbits instead of humans? The rabbits used were Rex rabbits. They are a special breed known for their incredibly soft and valuable fur. But their most useful quality wasn't their fur, it was their habit. Rex rabbits love eating the soft young branches of willow trees. As the rabbits fed on these branches, the trees naturally grew stronger. The paper industry began receiving higher quality wood, and trimming costs dropped to almost zero. On one side, the economy started improving. On the other, the environment began to heal. But this was only the beginning. The roots of the willow trees started holding the sand in place. Strong winds could no longer blow the sand away, and moisture stayed in the soil much longer. And then the rabbits showed their real magic. Their waste became a natural fertilizer. Slowly, the land began to regain its fertility. Rex rabbits also have a very high reproduction rate, so their population grew naturally, and with it, the amount of fertilizer increased as well. There was one more fascinating detail. Rabbits can digest grass, but they cannot digest grass seeds, which means the seeds pass through their bodies and return directly to the soil. The result? Grass begins to grow again. First came grass, then vegetables, and eventually, proper farming. The entire system became self-sustaining. Trees were growing, rabbits were multiplying, and people's incomes were rising. Today, the average person there earns around $9,000 per month. With support from the Chinese government, Wang expanded the project further. Bulldozers were used to level the land, and even more trees were planted. Local people were trained, rabbits were distributed, and every household became a small farm. Years later, a place that was once nothing but sand was full of life again. Today, a large part of the Kibbuchi Desert has turned green. People live there, work there, and earn stable incomes. Those who once fled this land out of desperation have now built their lives right there. Now a question naturally comes to mind. If rabbits caused so much trouble in Australia, why didn't China face the same disaster? The answer is simple. China kept the rabbits in a controlled environment. They were used only as much as needed. In Australia, rabbits were never properly managed. Over time, they became uncontrollable, and their population grew far beyond the human population. When nature is used with control, a problem turns into a solution. When there is no control, the same thing becomes destruction. The story of the Kibbuchi Desert teaches us that solutions don't always come from advanced technology. Sometimes the answer lies in a small but intelligent idea. When humans and nature work together, even a desert can be filled with life. And perhaps that is the biggest lesson of this story.